Hey everybody, welcome to week 4 of the course here. And quick topic here. I'm going to talk about some positive spin. Sometimes, every day we're bombarded with, negative news, breaking news, you know, news that's edited to, portray a particular interest. National media reports, a lot of times opinions versus facts. And I'm not talking about all the traffic accident or things, but there's other things that just, there's a lot of negativity out there that can influence people. Politicians are part of the, not all politicians, but, a good portion of them. There's lots of infighting. A lot of them are more focused on the career than what's best for their people. Buying votes by coming up with special interest and things like that. Class warfare. Us against them, rich against poor, type thing. And majority of the politicians, they don't really have. They've never owned a business or have business experience or economic experience. So a lot of decisions they make negatively impact people, and they're just out of touch and don't realize it. So depending on what we're talking about, but an example would be taxes. This is a back and forth thing. Every 4 or 8 years, where Republicans get in there and they cut taxes. And the thought there is, if people have more money to spend, it helps the economy. And then, when Democrats get in there, they raise taxes. So there's lots of you know, negative impacts based on tax increases or decreases. One of the negatives about a tax increase is it lowers the real GDP. Uh, you know, uh, example is 1% increase in taxes reduces the GDP by 2 or 3%. Um, and you can Google and find these numbers. When you're finding numbers, though, and researching, make sure you're researching actual numbers versus bloggers or people who have their own political, because you can't, these things can be twisted where it looks one way when in reality it might be the other way. So that's my point. The false realities that we're faced with sometimes. Again, I'm talking about the media and the politicians have a way of creating division, infighting, believing in false realities, things like that. Pandemic is one example. We have science, we have medicine. I imagine most of us know people who've had COVID, people who have died from COVID. I personally, within my circles that I have different circles of, and I'm a little bit older, so I have probably bigger circles. But I know of at least a dozen people who have died from COVID. And all my years, I've never known anybody that died from the flu. And I know that's one of the arguments. Oh, just as many. And you got to look at the science and all this other stuff. But, Democrats, some Republicans, uh, you know, they take advantage of this and make it political. All right, that's both sides. You got some far right people who, it's a hoax, all this other stuff. And then you have people on the left, or some Democrats who, close down businesses, but yet those same people will visit the close. You have some of them going to see, hairdressers, you know, styling salons, or whatever you want to call it, when they're closed, and things like, or going to a restaurant when there's supposed to be no restaurants open. There's all these different examples, but, point being is, um, you know, you got to look at the realities, the imaginary, the false realities, and the real realities. Your mission as a student is school, but also as an individual. You have family, you have yourself. You have to be rational and objective. Just because somebody says something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Just because I sit here and tell you something doesn't mean it's true. That's where you have to use your own judgment. Rationale. Don't be influenced by charisma. Charisma is the killer of societies. That's just a personal thing, because people can say anything and people will follow blindly. And don't be influenced by all the false promises, um, by others, by politicians, whatever the case. Do your own homework, research. Don't let these negatives impact your mood. Negatives cause depression. Don't let them make cause you to make questionable decisions, develop a negative outlook in life, develop false beliefs, to impact your work and impact your goals. All right. This is where, the the positive spin comes on it. You got to be brave and diligent. All right, you find the truth, and not what others tell you the truth is, what the real truth is, and have integrity with who you are, not with what they are or who they are. All right, by they, I'm talking about these, those out there that would have you believe something they believe to be true, even though it's not true. All right, and so that's the positive spin. All right, so positive spin, just do your homework and so forth. That's it. Okay, on to the course. And so upcoming week here, week 4, uh, got 4 chapters. So chapter 11 has to deal with developing business and IT strategies, developing the solutions, and then some security, ethical challenges, and you know global management information. So these are all, regardless of what you're going to be doing in the future, uh, IT is going to be part of your job in one aspect or other. If you own your own business, you're going to have some sort of IT. You're going to have a point of sale system, or you're going to have something. You're going to have records and so forth. So how you manage that is part of business. And then if you're going to run a business for somebody, where you got multiple locations and different things, again, there's certain things you're going to be having oversight with, developing strategies or, solutions to some, issues, the ethical things, like, social media, we have some ethical issues with how information is shared, things like that. So you're going to have the same stuff, plus the security of, if you have a customer database or patients, like patient databases, whatever the case is. So that's why all this is important in that respect. All right. Discussions, I say it all the time. I've been saying, if you're in the other class, the video about keep doing what you're doing great. Make sure you have that full paragraph or more in there. And, that part's good. And then on the home, you got your quiz each week, and then you have the real world cases. So, doing good. Any questions, as always, get in touch. I got the test question. Same question that was in the other course, if you're in both courses here. 8-year-old, 4-year-old, 8-year-olds in school during the day, so 4-year-old in preschool in the mornings. Pick them up, and sometimes we go do stuff. So, what are we doing here? Alrighty. With that, I will let you go. If you got any questions or anything, get in touch, and just have a good week. Take